Welcome to you, Mother Truckers. This week, we're hitting a pit stop to dive into two really wild fiction stories you guys sent over, Starborn and Cloud Runners.
Yeah, these are great. You folks are interested in this theme of like normal people getting thrown into these totally extraordinary situations, right? Unexpected heroism.
Exactly. And we're going to dig into what makes these stories tick, what insights they offer.
Okay, so first up is Starborn. Imagine, you're 16, it's your birthday, typical stuff.
Right, maybe hoping for concert tickets or something.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, this family locket seems kind of ordinary, suddenly unlocks this whole cosmic destiny. Alex, the main character, goes from worrying about homework to being like heir to a celestial kingdom.
Whoa, yeah, that's a step up from algebra class.
It really makes you think, like, what happens when your whole world just expands like that? Your biggest problems suddenly seem tiny, you know?
Okay, let's unpack Starborn a bit then. So 16, birthday, locket, boom, space royalty.
Very much. It's quite the jump.
So he's suddenly in this, like, palace in the stars, dealing with cosmic law instead of, I don't know, curfews.
Absolutely. And what's striking right away is the contrast, isn't it? You've got this kid full of, well, teenage stuff.
Yeah, angst, maybe some sarcasm.
Right. And then he's dropped into this world with, like, millennia of history, ancient beings, totally different rules and expectations. They probably expect him to be instantly wise and regal.
Which, let's be honest, is probably not happening right after worrying about a history test.
Exactly. He's probably mastered the art of the eye roll, maybe the sarcastic comeback. Skills not usually on the celestial job description.
Right. But here's the twist, isn't it? When trouble starts brewing in this kingdom, not like a big invasion, but something sneakier.
Yeah, like manipulation, whispers, dissent.
It turns out those very teenage traits, they actually become kind of useful, surprisingly effective even.
That's a really key point about leadership, I think. You have these established powers, the ancient celestial beings.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a bit rigid, stuck in their ways after all that time.
Could be. Makes sense.
So they seem kind of unprepared for this insidious kind of attack. But Alex, having navigated the, let's face it, often brutal social landscape of high school.
Oh, yeah. Treacherous waters indeed.
He might actually be better at spotting this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Recognizing the lies, the subtle betrayals.
It's like decoding who's popular and why, or figuring out rumors.
Yeah.
Suddenly, that's a galactic survival skill. He starts connecting with the outsiders, right? The rebels in this cosmic society.
The ones who aren't afraid to question things. And you mentioned maybe even his video game strategies come into play. Planning responses.
Hey, you never know. Who'd think all those hours battling digital monsters could help save a kingdom? It really shows how, like, any experience can be valuable in ways you don't expect.
That inherent skepticism, too, That teenage thing of questioning authority, it becomes super important when the authority figures are being played. He doesn't just blindly accept what he's told.
And the solution isn't some giant laser battle, is it? It's more subtle. Information, alliances, maybe even using a bit of that attitude to wrongfoot the bad guys.
He's adapting, taking what he knows, even the seemingly small stuff, and applying it to this enormous new stage. It's a really clever take on the whole chosen one idea.
So connecting back to why you folks sent this in unexpected heroism, it feels like adaptability, thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
That's more powerful here than just like inherent magic powers or ancient wisdom.
Yeah, his outsider view, which seemed like a disadvantage, becomes his biggest asset.
Okay, awesome. Now let's shift gears. From cosmic thrones down to, well, not quite down, up. Up in the clouds with cloud runners.
Right. Imagine this city just floating high above the ground. Gravity is both the enemy and like the playground for these incredible racers.
Sounds amazing. We follow Mia. She's the underdog racer, right?
Yep. And what starts as this super high-stakes race turns into something much bigger, a desperate fight to save the entire city.
So personal ambition versus the fate of, like, thousands, that's intense.
The whole setup is fantastic, isn't it? This city in the clouds. Athletes defying gravity. Mia's positioned right away as the underdog. She's got talent, she's determined, but she doesn't have the fancy gear or the big reputation like her rival, Riker.
Classic David and Goliath.
Yeah.
But like with gliders and clouds.
Exactly. She's got the older, patched-up gear against his shiny, sponsored machine. The race itself sounds incredible, super tense. Just reading it, you're on the edge of your seat.
But it's not just about winning, is it? Something else happens.
That's right. The race is almost like the backdrop, because signs start appearing that the city itself is in trouble. The ether core that keeps it floating is failing.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the stakes just got way higher than just a trophy.
Massively higher. And what's cool is Mia notices at first, even in the middle of this intense race, her instincts pick up that something's wrong.
Before she even really knows what it is, right? Just a gut feeling.
Yeah. And then she has this huge choice. Does she keep racing, chase that win she's dreamed of, finally beat Riker, or does she ditch the race and try to warn everyone? Risk everything.
Man, that's a moment. What really drives us, right?
Oh.
Personal glory or something bigger?
It really puts it under the microscope. And Mia's choice to abandon her own ambition for the city's safety, well, it says a lot about her.
And she doesn't just sound the alarm and step back, does she? She uses her skill.
Exactly. Her cloud running skills, her knowledge of the winds, the city's layout.
Yeah.
She uses all of that to try and guide the city as it starts to fall, to lessen the impact.
So the racetrack becomes the place she tries to save everyone. That's incredible.
It's amazing resourcefulness and courage, obviously. She basically turns her racing glider into a survival tool. That deep understanding she has, born from her passion, becomes absolutely vital.
And what about Riker, the rival?
Even he steps up. When the crisis hits, the rivalry just evaporates. He immediately starts helping with the evacuation. It shows that even rivals can find common ground when things get really bad.
So, linking this back again. Unexpected heroism. Mia's stories seem to say it's not always about having the most power or making big speeches.
Right. It's often about the choices you make under extreme pressure. Acting selflessly. She wasn't the designated hero, but her quick thinking and dedication made her one. The underdog saves the day.
Okay, so reflecting on both stories you sent, Starborn and Cloud Runners, what's the big takeaway on this unexpected heroism idea?
Well, with Starborn, it seems like those traits we might dismiss, even negative ones like teenage defiance or skepticism, they can actually be really powerful tools in a crisis.
Yeah, Alex's ability to question things, honed in just regular life, turned out to be more useful than ancient wisdom when facing that subtle threat. Makes you wonder, right? What little skills or personality quirks do we have that might be surprisingly useful someday?
Exactly. And then Cloud Runners. Mia shows incredible courage in putting the collective good first. Her connection to her environment, her passion, became the key to saving her city, combined with that willingness to risk it all.
So it raises that question. What really makes a hero? Is it some innate power you're born with? Or is it about the choices you make when things get tough, the values you stick to?
I think that's it. Both these stories, even though they're set in these fantastical worlds, they offer some really interesting thoughts on leadership, resilience, and where strength can come from, often from unexpected places.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. We hope this pit stop gave you all something interesting to chew on.
So, what really clicked with you in these stories? Or what other tale of unexpected heroes have you come across? Keep sending those recommendations our way.
Please do. And hey, rate and follow you, mother truckers, for more of these captivating mysteries and dives into flash fiction. We'll catch you next time for another exploration.